This is some fresh shit. But I have to do, like, I didn't know there was like an incel network, but apparently there is. Oh, I got to turn off for the time being anyways. The green screen on there real quick. Hold on. Brink, brink, so we can at least watch this. I may have to turn it back on if they don't behave. But look, we've all been victims of bad lighting, but I don't know this. I don't know what skin tone that is. Toilet paper? What's happening? Is this guy just like warming himself up to just make you look like shit? Did they desaturate the yellows out of this entirely to make the orange in the flag pop? Fucking hell. Anyways, I don't know who either of these guys are. This is In Focus is the name of the show. Report: Hunter Biden received $100 million from Russian oligarch. This is the same related story that they're talking about. I'm fascinated. You're fascinated.
Adam Laxalt has made big money from big oil companies.
Quiet.
They wrote a
Hold on. I'm turning this down. I turned off the audio. Hold on.
It's not all. He made millions.
No, it's not. Okay, here we go. It's a show about a thing, show about a boy and standing with its Addison
Well,
Smith.
the pressure continues to mount.
I didn't realize this was a Talking Points USA has a college program
On Hunter Biden, because so does the evidence.
Oh my God. Okay. There's so like evidence. Okay.
Of his corruption.
Yeah, it's evidence of his corruption. There's a picture of it, right? It's not, well, I don't have a picture of that, but he is waving. There he is with his dad. This guy like totally knows his like dad.
A Hunter Biden linked real estate firm got at least $100 million.
Oh, ba-boom! $100 million from a Russian oligarch. Linked, are they? Hold on, I need to find this too now. We have to, don't we? New York Post. This is going to be good. Hunter Biden linked. Let's see. Got at least $100 million from Fantastic. All right, here we go. Hunter Biden's real estate company received more than $100 million from Russian oligarch Yelena Baturina for investments. We're back to the mayor of Moscow's wife. The richest woman in Moscow up until a little while ago. Now we don't even know if she's alive. A real estate company with ties to first son Hunter Biden received more than $100 million from a Russian billionaire for property investments across the U.S. that date back a decade. Sources have told the Post. Okay. The hefty... Okay, hold on. I got to blow this up for you guys. Bink, bink. Come on. That's not going to... It won't let me... All right. There you go. The hefty... The hot cash injections... the sausage fest of money... Here we go. The hefty cash injections into Rosemont Realty came from Elena Baturina, one of Russia's wealthiest women and the widow of the former mayor of Moscow and a close ally of Moscow tyrant Vladimir Putin, the sources say. Because you know how, again, Putin clearly has Biden in the palm of his hand. Biden is basically just giving him whatever he wants, whenever he wants it. Because, all right. In one portfolio deal, Baturina paid at least $40 million to Rosemont to invest in office buildings across the country, according to a source with knowledge of the transactions. What do you mean invest in office buildings? They didn't get to keep it? How much did they get to keep? She paid at least $40 million to invest. You mean she had them invest $40 million of her money? That money went toward the 2012 purchase of 7 office buildings in, oh dear God, she's taking over blue states, Texas, Colorado, Alabama, New Mexico, and Oklahoma. So you're telling me that a Russian oligarch with ties to Vladimir Putin set up offices in a bunch of red states? Oh, fucking hell. Yeah, the CIA has a Putin whisperer in the Kremlin. They're making him do this, right? Let's see. according to deal-related emails obtained by the Daily Mail. The investment purportedly came from Intico Management AG, the Swiss company owned by Batterina. So a Swiss company that she owns invested $40 million to buy property in 5 states, including the one where Lauren Boebert was curiously elected during that time. Coincidence? I think not. All right. This isn't the first time President Biden's 52-year-old son has been linked to Batterina. He's a year younger than me? Huh. I just feel like I would have been a good sponsor for the dude. I could have gotten him away from that stuff. Anyways, whose late husband, Yuri Luchkov, was mayor... Luchkov, yeah, was mayor of Russia's capital for more than 18 years before being dismissed by then-President Dmitry Medvedev in 2010. Dismissed. And then he was dismissed out a window. No. Batterina, whose estimated worth of $1.4 billion, had wired $3.5 million in 2014 to a bank account held by Rosemont Seneca Thornton, a consortium formed by Hunter's investment company Rosemont Seneca and the Boston-based Thornton Group. So they split $3.5 million between themselves, the company and a Boston-based company. All right. And where is Billy Bob Thornton in all of this? Am I a sponsor? No, I am not. I'm just saying I've never used, so I might be good. Less. I'm not. Maybe I'd be a terrible one because I don't use at all. But sometimes I just feel like I've been busying myself with shit. Besides that stuff my whole life. All right. Thornton Group. Okay. Like Rosemont Realty, Rosemont Seneca Thornton is an offshoot of Rosemont Capital Partners, a private equity firm co-founded by Hunter Biden and Chris Hines, stepson of former Secretary of State John Kerry and son of the late Pennsylvania Senator John Hines. The 2014 transfer was later scrutinized in 2020 report commissioned by Senate Republicans probing Hunter's. Oh, you mean the one where they found nothing? Were flagged in suspicious activity reports filed by banks to the U.S. Treasury Department. Hunter's lawyer, George Maziras, denied Biden's son profited from that transaction, telling CNN, at the time, Hunter Biden had no interest in and was not a co-founder of Rosemont Seneca Thornton. So the claim that he was paid $3.5 million is false. It still is, obviously, because they gave the company that. The GOP report, overseen by Ron Johnson and Grassley, described Batterina's involvement with Hunter as a financial relationship, but did not touch on why the wire transfer was made. The question who pocketed the $3.5 million has never been determined. But let's just show a picture of them walking out of church and call it a day. Less than 2 months after the wire transfer, Hunter and his then business partner, Devin Archer, met with Batterina in April 2014 at the Villa d'Este, a well-known haunt of Russian oligarchs overlooking Lake Como, Italy. All right. According to emails uncovered, by the way, we will assume all of these are fake. Uncovered from Hunter's infamous laptop. No, they weren't. No one tied to this article at all has ever seen the laptop ever. They've gotten a hard drive from Jack Maxey that he got and modified. Batterina's name also popped up that same month regarding a possible real estate deal in New York's Chelsea neighborhood, as well as a Latin American cocoa venture. She's cornering the market. She's going to open a gay club and sell hot chocolate. It's terrible. Despite denying ever discussing his son's business dealings, Biden attended a dinner at Cafe Milano in Washington, D.C. with his troubled son's business associates in April 2015 and hundreds of other people. And, of course, we all know that Biden, if you've ever been to the Chelsea neighborhood in New York, there's that great place, Biden's Underground Cocoa Cafe, where the gelato is spectacular, but there's always, hidden messages in it. And you have to pay in yuan. Batterina Lushkov, who died in 2019 after complications from heart surgery, apparently they removed it. And they had a hell of a time putting it back in. Were among those invited to the dinner, according to a copy of the guest list that Hunter had emailed to Archer 3 weeks prior. While the records on the laptop don't make clear whether Batterina ended up at the dinner, yeah, just fucking hell. And God knows a no metadata printed out copy of an email is totally trustworthy. Let's see. She didn't want to. Head of the event said she didn't want to attend. Yelena doesn't want to steal Yuri's thunder, so she'll be in town to meet with us, but doesn't want to come to dinner. That was just her thoughts. we could insist. He's one of the few Russian oligarchs who have notably escaped sanctions against Moscow's February 24th invasion of Ukraine, a fact that caught the attention of GOP lawmakers earlier this year. If the United States is avoiding sanctioning again Russian oil because of the concerns they may attempt to influence American policy by exploiting Hunter Biden's connection to the President of the United States, okay, knew it, a group of 19. Okay. The emails detailing Baturina's $40 million real estate investment came from a leak obtained by the Kazakhstani Initiative on Asset Recovery, an anti-corruption group focused on the former Soviet Republic. The messages were exchanged between Archer and Kins Rekishev, a Kazakhstani businessman who was photographed with Hunter and Joe Biden at the Cafe Milano dinner. Intiko, whoops, fucking stop moving around. The post will not stop selling. Hold on. The messages were exchanged between them. Okay, Intiko, who I know you know is taking a significant equity piece. We'd love to have you on board, Archer wrote in an email to Rakishev. I know you mentioned you were less interested in real estate, but this is a deal we're closing next month, and it's just too attractive not to share. Hunter's attorneys didn't immediately respond to the post request for comment. Again, yes, the laptop is hidden at a gay club under some in a freezer under a bunch of ice cream. Yeah, don't forget to hit the like button, by the way, because I'm the only person around that's diving into this stuff fully. I literally, like, no, everybody just kind of blinks off this shit. Like, all right, it says, well, that story's not true, but we'll just move on. Or they don't even bother to push back on it now because it's so fucking tired. I sometimes feel like, why do I have to cover this shit again? But they keep bringing it up. So, and it feels like the minute, is it really Billy Bob? No, it is not. Stereophonics Mom. I was kidding. Although, if you found out that Billy Bob Thornton and Hunter Biden were in business together, would that surprise you? No. Hunter's laptop is DB Cooper. It's under DB Cooper's corpse. All right.
From Russian oligarch Elena Baturina between 2012 and 2014. Baturina is a close pal to Vladimir Putin.
Weird. You'd think they'd be better buddies then. But then why would Biden come in and start fucking with him right away?
So it looks like the Biden family is more guilty of colluding with Russia than Trump ever was.
Yes, that's why we're giving so much support to Ukraine.
The New York Post reports that Baturina paid at least $40 million to Rosemont Realty for office investments across the country in states like Texas, Colorado, Alabama, New Mexico, and Oklahoma.
I just read that part. And again, notice the use of the word paid versus invested. She gave them that money to invest. They would pick those sites largely. They would, do the shopping for her, make the arrangements in the realty, in the realty business, acting as a realtor for her. And then they would take a commission on the sales of those places, which would be anywhere between, 3 and 6%, depending on how the volume of the deals.
The evidence for this being revealed in deal-related emails that were originally obtained by the Daily Mail. Rosemont is Hunter Biden's real estate firm.
No, it isn't.
It is directly tied to him, not indirectly. And Russian oligarchs, this Russian oligarch, Baturina, were reportedly shoveling tens of millions of bucks to him.
Huh. Right through him. Right? Like shit through a goose. Not that this asshole understands that.
More dirt on Hunter Biden.
Yeah, tons of dirt. Lots of dirt. Not as dirty as smoking in a bathtub, but I'm sure you have those pictures on hand.
All of the other dirt is on his laptop. The laptop the FBI has had for years.
No, they haven't. It doesn't exist.
They've had his hard drive for years.
No, they haven't. They have multiple copies, I'm sure, mailed to them all the time from people like Maxie, but they don't have it.
Now, and yet nothing has come of it.
Well, yeah, because it's not their fault. It's not the FBI's fault. It's the chain of evidence. Again, a first-year law student could get the fucking laptop thrown out and say anything that comes off this is fruit of the poison tree. We don't know what's real, and we don't have to, it's unreasonable search and seizure to assume that any of it's real. So we just want the whole thing thrown out. They'd be thrown out in an afternoon.
As far as consequences for his actions go.
Terrible. So terrible.
Aside from the obvious public shaming, of course.
Yes, there's so much shame and jealousy from the right wing. Like, why can't I get hookers and crack?
Now, in response to this, Iowa Senator Chuck Grassley has penned a letter to AG Merrick Garland, FBI Director Chris Wray, and Delaware Attorney David Weiss, condemning the agency's continued silence on the overwhelming evidence of Hunter's corruption.
Like what? Like what? The FBI wouldn't have access to anything that he has. Apparently, Chuck Grassley has a copy of that fucking bullshit hard drive. Like what? Start a fucking website. Post it all online. Who gives a rat fuck?
Of which his dad, the big guy, is heavily complicit in by all available evidence.
No. By no available evidence.
Joining me now with more on this is Western...
Did he just call his own guest a moron? That's just rude.
Correspondent for The Federalist, Tristan Justice. Tristan, it's great to have you.
Tristan Justice sits in his office at The Federalist with an American flag draped down for distress, I guess, where he, live streams with his, he's got the black snowball podcasting microphone. And that's Office Depot. That's not cheap. That one right there. That is the lamp that came with the office.
Back on the show, as always, the pressure is mounting on Hunter Biden because, as I said, the evidence is mounting on Hunter Biden. Tell me,
is it though?
Tell me more. You wrote an entire article about this email about this.
Yeah, say it though. Read it out loud because nobody's going to read it.
Letter that Chuck Grassley sent to the FBI. What did he say?
Yeah, what? I didn't read it. You wrote a great article. What's in it?
Right, yeah, Senator Chuck Grassley is really demanding answers from the FBI on really 2 years of misconduct.
Shut up!
We now...
All right, who brought the dog? Cute little pooch. Maybe I got a milk bone.
You know, from multiple whistleblower reports since May of this year that the
multiple whistleblower reports. Also, no. Alleged whistleblower reports. Grassley keeps saying he has whistleblowers. None of them are blowing the fucking whistle.
FBI actively sought to cover up damaging information on the Biden family during the 2020 election. And we know from Facebook or Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg that Facebook actively suppressed stories about Hunter Biden going into the 2020 election at the FBI.
Yeah, because it was election manipulation. Everybody does that. Like it's basically it's to undercut the idea of an October surprise and allow people to make a real decision and not put something in the news cycle that's so close to the election that by the time it's vetted and people find out it's bullshit, the election is passed and it might negatively affect the story. This is not a discovery that happened in October. The laptop didn't fucking show up magically. It didn't show up at all, but it didn't show up magically in October right before the race. Rudy Giuliani got that hard drive when he was in Ukraine from a Russian a fucking year before and was carrying it around town, wagging it. And they realized after a while that Trump was going to lose. And they were like, we gotta pull the ripcord and use this shit. And everybody was like, yeah, it's bullshit.
FBI's behest. And so Senator Chuck Grassley is really demanding answers now on what the FBI had been doing.
I can give them to him if he wants. I can run him through the whole fucking thing. I've seen everything they put out about the Hunter Biden laptop like 6 fucking times. 10 times, 20 times. How many clips have we done about this shit? I've seen every John Paul McIsaac interview, covered the major ones anyways.
Since October 2020 when whistleblowers came out describing the Biden family.
Whistleblowers. Say the whole words. Simmer down.
Long laundry list of conflicts of interest going into the White House.
Yes, his conflicts of interest that have obviously made him the puppet of Russia and China, who are totally Biden's best friend and aren't at all trying to help Trump get reelected. He won't. Don't worry.
And what the FBI is really doing to investigate that.
Now, what is the FBI doing to investigate?
Yeah, what is going on? I don't know. I just sometimes feel like I've got a New York background. The only thing I can do when I'm speaking to Count Dracula is to try and do a bit of walking.
Investigate that, because we've heard the news for the past several weeks is, oh, Hunter Biden could be criminally prosecuted now. He could be criminally prosecuted. Something's coming. I've always maintained that I don't think anything's going to happen to him because he's the most protected man in America next to the president of the United States.
No. Obviously, Donald Trump has far more protections as well.
What has the FBI been doing? Have they even been?
What are they doing? I mean, honestly, Bobcat needs to show up. Thank you very much. Oh my God, you look like you're made out of chalk.
Doing anything?
Well, that's a good question. From multiple whistleblower reports this summer that we know.
Whistleblower. Say the whole word.
That we know of, the FBI is actually trying to do nothing when it comes to Hunter Biden.
Trying to do nothing. They must be exhausted.
And so it was interesting that the Washington Post published that report that the FBI has enough evidence to indict Hunter Biden. I think it's in a large part trying to save face going after the president's son here, especially after multiple whistleblowers showing that the FBI is...
Multiple whistleblowers. Fucking hell, man.
Trying to really dismiss charges against Biden all along. Meanwhile, we know the FBI is amplifying damaging information on Donald Trump. We had, of course...
Donald Trump. Jesus Christ, dude! This guy, when he bought his refrigerator poetry thing, it was like half apostrophes.
An unprecedented FBI raid on the former president back in August.
Yeah, but his crimes were unprecedented, so fair.
Over the Presidential Records Act, which is rarely prosecuted, and of course, if
no, it wasn't over the Presidential Records Act. It was about the classified materials he wasn't supposed to have. That was what the raid is about. The rest of it was about them trying to get the regular documents back. They wouldn't have prosecuted him on that. They still haven't. Shut the fuck up.
Trump is guilty of this crime, and so was Obama, taking troves and troves of documents back to the Obama Foundation. So,
no, he didn't take troves and troves of documents back to the Obama Foundation. Again, this is the... I don't know why I always pictured the Federalist as a bunch of old farts for a long time. You know what I mean? Like the oldest of the old. Like everybody there looks like Grassley, right? But they've just they're just handing shit off to like incel pages that work in the building.
So really, we have a two-tiered justice system really coming through with the Department of Justice conduct here.
You know why they're coming after me? You know why they raided my house? It's because I'm a black man trapped in a white man's world, and I'm just caught in the confines of the bureaucracy. You're a Caucasian, Mr. Heffler. Fine, throw that in my face too, why don't you? God.
Here, and that's
I look like shit. Look at this. Looks like a people aquarium. Sorry, now I'm doing lines from Burglar.
Coming forward this fall.
Well, yeah, and on the note of a cover-up, it's not just that they've covered up, prosecuting Hunter Biden or postponed it or tried to avoid doing it. They actively worked with social media companies like Facebook, like Twitter, to suppress the...
No, they didn't. They went, hey, you're going to see a lot of bullshit about this thing. You guys might want to look out for it. That was that. That's the whole thing. Guy looks like Louis XIV without a wig. Yes, it's Renfield and Milo Yiannopoulos' preferred reflection. Rick Astley. Never gonna give you up. All right.
The Hunter Biden laptop story when it first broke, and...
Yeah, when it first broke, months after Rudy Giuliani had been carrying the fucking thing around, trying to get it off the ground, waiting ultimately through working with the campaign until 6 weeks before the election to try and, release stories around it, literally colluding with the New York Post to time their story within the window where it would help the most. That's where that whole, by the way, just so you know, that whole 17% of people would have changed their vote had they known about the Hunter Biden laptop. No, that was from their own focus group stuff that they did on the laptop story with the New York Post folks before they released it. Fuck you. If we release this during this 6-week window, we could see as much as a 17-point shift because this is fucking money. This is an October surprise of all time. That's what they were telling themselves. That's what fucking Rasmussen was whispering in Trump's fucking ear in September of 2020, and it didn't fucking work. Hell, the fact that Twitter was like, this is bullshit, and bounced it a few times, gave it more legs than it would have had naturally.
And Mark Zuckerberg admitted this on Joe Rogan's podcast. Said,
no, he did not.
The FBI came to us, said, look out for Russian propaganda, Russian misinformation, wink, wink, nod, nod. And
they didn't wink and nod. They said literally that.
So the FBI, far from just, avoiding giving Hunter Biden his due justice, they've...
His due justice.
Actively used taxpayer dollars, might I add. They've used...
Yeah, they filled up their tank with your tax dollars and drove to Meta. And then you, obviously, after meeting Mark Zuckerberg, had to stand in a sauna to warm their bodies back up.
There's taxpayer dollars at work to cover for him and to make sure that the world wouldn't find out about this story, but we did.
Yeah, but you did, and it didn't do fucking anything. We know all of it. It's all available. The whole hard drive is available, and none of it is convincing, and it's all bullshit, and fuck you. The whole, like, everything they've been putting around, if this stuff was so damning and so true, then Eric Bolling wouldn't have to put up the same fucking smoking in bed pictures of Hunter Biden. They wouldn't have to. They'd have pictures of them with fucking Chinese millionaires and fucking people from the CCP and like swearing on Mao's little red book and fucking like ledgers of shit. But they have none of that stuff. And they even just shit on Bobolinsky. He's their guy.
You're exactly right. We had open regime government collusion with big tech oligarchs in Silicon Valley to
Silicon Valley.
Directly influence the 2020 election. And then Democrats are all of a sudden surprised when conservatives claim that the election was rigged.
Yeah, it's like amazing that they would even do that. And to me, and sorry, hold on a second. I have to, real quick. I feel like I left out in this situation. Give me 1 second. No, that won't work. Let me see. Give me a second. Let's see. No, won't work. 1 second. Oops. Hold on. This is, well, nah, that won't work. Hold on. Close. Give me a second. Getting there. No. Let's see. Everybody wants to be... Everybody's so goddamn smart. Okay, hold on. Here we go. This is better. Hello. Hi. I love your show. I listen to your podcast all the time. And I have to say, between you and me and Rick Astley over there, what do you say? You guys want to get some s'mores and look on Hunter Biden's laptop? You want to do that? That'd be a good time. Come on now.
I mean, we had, and now we have Mark Zuckerberg coming out and acknowledging that this happened. And of course,
he totally did. I could, you could smell the fear.
Of course, reading between the lines, everyone knew something was happening.
Yeah, you don't have to actually, he doesn't actually have to say, he never said it, but he said it with his eyes.
When Facebook and Twitter were colluding to suppress stories about Hunter Biden weeks before the 2020 election.
Yeah, it's weird that the stories only came out weeks before the 2020 election when the actual information had been around for months and months. Why wouldn't the New York Post do a story in February? Oh yeah, because people would have found out it was bullshit by July and Fuck.
As millions of Americans went to the polls. Remember, we had record level turnout in the form of early voting and mail-in voting during
Yes, as in Democrats. It was terrible. We need to stop that.
the 2020 election. And so when
The dead voted. Don't ask me how I know that.
those Hunter Biden stories dropped in October, Americans were already going to the polls and casting their ballots. And so
yeah, they didn't have a chance to be suckered. It's terrible.
what we have here is real open collusion between government actors.
Collusion. Motherfucker, say the words. Collusion? Jesus Christ.
And big tech oligarchs. And of course, the 2020 election was absolutely rigged.
It was totally rigged because we didn't have a chance to rig it. Absolutely. Well said. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. It absolutely was. There was obvious evidence. I mean, all you had to do was open your eyes and just look.
Yeah, just all you had to, they were hiding it from us, but all you had to do was open your eyes and look. It was so, I mean, they suppressed it. You couldn't find it anywhere, but all you had to do was look.
At all the swing states that suspiciously stopped counting votes.
Yeah, when they start suspiciously, I'm sorry, you what now? The fuck? Give me 1 second. Hold on. I jumped story. Sorry. I made my makeup go away. It's terrible.
As far as Hunter Biden goes, where do you think, Tristan, this is slated to go? That's something I continually wonder. Stopped counting votes.
Hold on.
Yeah, it absolutely was. There was obvious evidence. I mean, all you had to do was open your eyes and just look at all the swing states that suspiciously stopped.
Yeah, there was suspiciously, totally. I was so suspicious the whole night. I was like laying awake going, what was that? Did you hear that? But is Trump getting cheated right now? I was very suspicious.
Counting votes, states like Pennsylvania that violated their state constitution, all the people caught on camera stuffing the ballot boxes. You know, we have.
Yeah, I mean, it's just all the, like, you know, all of it turned out to be real. Obviously, you know, if only Trump had, you know, the ability to put more than his fair share of judges on the Supreme Court, we would have had control of it. And therefore, they would have heard his case, and we would have fucking, God damn.
All of that evidence. Now, as far as Hunter Biden goes, where do you think, Tristan, this is slated?
Tristan. I'm sorry, but that sounds like a city in Zelda.
To go. That's something I continually wonder. I continually to be pessimistic about.
I continually to be pessimistic as well. I'm very pessimistic about you guys properly using conjunctions, for one.
Hunter Biden getting his due justice. What do you think based off of your reporting?
Who do justice? I do justice. Do you do justice? Justice doo-doo.
Well, Chuck Grassley's letter really outlined.
Grassley, motherfucker. I got extra big teeth, and I'm wearing lipstick that's easy to smear, and I can say it.
And, quote, voluminous evidence at the
voluminous motherfucker. I don't even. God damn it. Did these guys rented mouths? What's happening?
The FBI had in their possession. And so the evidence might be so overwhelming that the Department of Justice has.
So, I'm sorry, what was that word?
Well, Chuck Grassley's letter really outlined, quote, voluminous evidence that the FBI had in their possession. And so the evidence might be so overwhelming that the Department of Justice has to issue an indictment. Of course, I think the agency is trying to do everything in its power to make sure that doesn't happen. But look, I think the evidence here could be overwhelming for some type of indictment where we see Hunter Biden really leveraging the family name to the tune of millions and millions of dollars for the entire Biden family. Remember that Hunter.
All right, I'm just going to skip past that was, let's just pretend that whole part of the conversation never happened because nothing was said, and just pick up right here.
Biden text to his daughter describing how for 30 years he's making the money for his entire family, and of course he was doing.
Oh, thank God they're bringing up new information and not easily pissed on stupid shit from a year ago. Brilliant, guys. Thank you. Thank you.
All of that leveraging his former vice president father while he was in the White House and as vice president.
And at a haunted house.
And now while he was pursuing the White House once again. And so the evidence here might be over.
Oh, my God. They golf. You know what they say about people who golf? The most evil motherfuckers. I'm not even evil enough to golf. Do you know how evil you have to be to golf? It's terrible.
Overwhelming, and we could see progress on this in the coming months.
Tristan Justice from The Federalist. Big fan of your reporting. Thank you.
Yeah, not enough to read it, but
for joining the show.
He didn't join the show. He joined you on the show. Is he a permanent fixture now? You just hired this asshole? Has he even passed the background check?
Thank you for having me.
Wait, that's your mom?
You bet. Meanwhile, I wanted to get to this. A North Carolina athlete.
Hold on. Now I got to go back to normal because, hold on. Sing mother. All right.
Female volleyball player was injured by her transgender competitor after a spike ball hit her in the face.
Yeah. Yeah. This is the follow-up story. This is the state. This is the fucking state of America. We turn from the truly horrifying stories of Hunter smokes in the bathtub Biden's deals that have sold America out to its enemies, namely Ukraine and Taiwan, to a truly horrifying crime as we see violent crime rising all over the country. We go now to Rick Astley's younger brother, who he had with a woman who looks a lot like Adam Ruins Everything, as he reports directly from volleyball ground zero, Chip Astley.
She received severe head and neck injuries from this. She's currently displaying long-term concussion symptoms and is
from a volleyball. All right, I'm a big fan of the Harlem Globetrotters. I really am. I used to watch them when I was a kid. I loved when they were on Scooby-Doo. And one of my favorite gags from the Harlem Globetrotters, and I want to know if anybody remembers this one, is the ceramic basketball. Do you guys remember the ceramic basketball where they're playing, they're bouncing around and kind of stuff, and they're passing back and forth, and the generals are there, and then they accidentally on purpose throw it, and one of the generals catches it, and he goes to dribble it, and it just smashes all over the floor. Remember that one? I fucking love that gag. To this day, I remember that particular moment. Like, of all the things the Globetrotters ever did, that was it. That was fucking glorious. And it was so slick. It was like a great magic trick. They would just swap out this thing, and that, like, they're putting the shirt and in the, the ball in their shirt and spinning around, then popping it out and doing all this stuff. And they managed to, like, boom, 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 like that. And then as soon as the guy gets it, he just automatic, just muscle memory, kapow! And it fucking shatters all of it. I just love it. That was my favorite gag of theirs of all time. Hold on. I want to see if I can, while we're at it, why the fuck not? Let's see. Let's see. I think glass. Is it glass? Like, I'm gonna have to find it. No. I'll have to find it. Yeah. All right. Now I'm in a YouTube thing about learning Harlem Globetrotters basketball tricks. I'm gonna have to dive into that on my own. I'll find it. I'm gonna post it later. I'm gonna grab it and make a goddamn GIF. Hold on. Images. I don't know how often they did it, so it might have just been like a one-off, but it affected me so much when I was a kid. All right, so I'll figure it out. All right, if anybody finds it, please let me know. Just like tweet it to me. All right, here we go. And we don't need to watch the rest of this asshole. I just want to watch for the Hunter Biden stuff, because I don't need to watch this dork be a bigot, you know, and give him a platform he hasn't earned otherwise. Because like I said, OAN and Real America's Voice have a slightly smaller reach than video ads on gas pumps. There are some people, Live Hal Opens Apps, it's a show. There are some people who watch those things, not a lot of them.